Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Back on the Run Pure Sports and the Legendary Upside YouTube channels here, talking a little NFL best ball on DraftKings, a little fantasy football talk for you guys with Sacrilegious from Leg Up. And we're going to do a little exposure show here. Sac's going to absolutely mog me with the exposures here and his 2,000 or 3,000 teams that he has built. But Sac, man, good to be back on with you, brother.
Yeah, we had a little hiatus there. I think you had a wedding. I did a little traveling. But, you know, we were not on vacation the whole time. We were locked in. We were grinding, trying to get our weight up, get our teams up here as we're heading down the home stretch of the hot best ball summer.
Yes, I've definitely been getting my weight up here with the best ball stuff here, get my big dog entries in here. Got a few 5.55s in since I've seen you last. It's been fun here, but we got to get into, we've been talking about doing this for like the last couple weeks, and we finally have it like perfect. You guys made an awesome sheet for us to just pull up easy and show off all our exposures and where we're at right now. Cause you know, Sac, we talk about, you know, eating our vegetables and who we're clicking, top guy all the time. Now we're going to show you what clicking the top guy is going to give you for an exposure when you do. Is it 2,000 or 3,000? Sorry, I'm
a little over 3,000 right now, but I got another over 500 slow drafts in the hopper right now. So we'll get close to 4,000 this year by the time it's all said and done. I don't know if I can get to 4,000, but we'll be close.
Let's go. Well, I hope you get to 4,000. Absolutely legendary stuff here. That's why you're a leg up guy. But here's the sheet. And Sac, we're going to go through some of your exposures on both DK and UD. Maybe there's some differences there. We'll see. I'm interested to see who your highest owned guys are. But Sac, do you want to kind of start us off with just the sheet in general, what it's kind of showing us?
Yeah, so if you are a leg up sub, you don't have to be a sidekick sub, just a leg up sub, and you've got the sidekick or the kickstand installed, and you head over to apps.legendaryupside.com. We've got this homepage here, this dashboard where you can view all of your portfolio information. Here, this overview page is just kind of a summary, how many drafts you've done in total on both sites, your entry fees, card similarity here, just showing you how diversified you are across all your drafts, your portfolio. Down here, I kind of like this because it lets me see when I really ramped up my volume. I can kind of sort, look by date. If I had any big spikes on when I entered, I can sort it by entry fees as well, or entries rather than entry fees. So you can see I was kind of slow and steady here. And then when we get into June, we really ramped up the volume, started to crank it up there. Here you can see all your draft positions that you had. See if you're running bad on 101s. I'm a little cold on 104s, so I might be light Puka just from random variants there. You can see if you're running
that
bad.
Work out really well for you, Sac, because you might start getting Puka like at the 5 or the 6 or the 7, depending on some of the news. So
yeah, I think this is also why I've been light Amon-Ra too. Look at my poor 7-hole stats. I barely have any entry fees in the 7 compared to my other stuff. Then at the bottom of this first page, you can see all your contests and the breakdown, how many you did in slow and fast drafts, your entry fees, what percent of your drafts and fees they all are. But here's what the people really want. They want to see the player exposures. They want to know who my highest drafted player is.
Let's see those top guy clicks. I want to see Omar Cooper and Dalton Schultz and all these guys. I want to Debo Samuel. We got to see them.
So we got, I'm sorted by fees right now. So, we'll kind of play around with this. This is across all slates. So you can select if you want to just look at pre-draft or regular or eliminator. But right now we'll do high level 10,000 foot view. I'm really hoping Dalton Schultz has a good season. He's really cheap, been getting him basically right at ADP. My closing line value is basically bang on where his ADP is. So never really reaching for him. Just think he's a good pick at cost, and just 3 teams shy of 1,000 Dalton Schultz teams. Jerry Bernard, the player I have on the most teams, we did lower him just a touch today, especially the way that we see early season shaking out, where it does seem like Roman Wilson is probably the favorite to be the wide receiver 3. I would bet you we still end up getting a bunch of Jeremy Bernard because people just don't really click him. He'll probably keep falling to the last round of drafts, and we'll scoop him up there. But yeah, do have a lot of Jeremy Bernard. Mekhi Lemon, to no one's surprise, my 3rd highest fees overall player. A lot of Pat Mahomes, Ted Hurst, Debo with the monster CLV. That one was pretty fun. About 3 rounds of CLV on average on Debo for 880 teams. So we do like that one. And then, of course, Travis Hunter or Mark Cooper, little Aaron Jones. Let's see if we got
Aaron Jones. Where's Aaron Jones? I got to see the Aaron Jones one.
So here we're just under $10,000 of Aaron Jones.
Oh my goodness!
Teams. Not really reaching for him, just basically taking the guy at ADP. Let's see. Where's the one that the people really want? The people really want to know how much Charlie Kolar do I have? And I actually have a lot more Charlie Kolar on DK than I do on Underdog. I think the 20 rounds really makes a big difference on when it's okay to take Charlie Kolar and not. But I do have him on some 555, so we've got a nice $8,000 of Charlie Kolar.
And let's be honest, the 4 tight end builds are way more of a like easy thing to sell yourself on DraftKings with the 20. So that just gives you an added 2 rounds and an extra spot sometimes to snag in a 4th tight end like Charlie Kolar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So AC says Travis Hunter. I want to see Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter right here, just under 800 teams. Again, not really reaching for him, basically getting him at ADP every time.
You don't need to.
Yeah. So happily loading those bags there. I think it's really fun to kind of see how player exposures change across the formats. Like looking at Eliminator, it's like, okay, all of a sudden I've got a lot of Kyler Murray for Eliminator, which kind of matches the way that we think Kyler's distribution of points works out over the season, where we think he's a pretty undervalued guy. He's going to start the start of the season, but we're not so sure he finishes the season. But in Eliminator, hey, if Kyler Murray gets you 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks, that's pretty good at, pick 109. So a lot of Kyler Murray here, some Eliminator type running backs with, Tony Pollard here, a little more Khalil Shakir, but also pretty happy to see guys like Jacoby Lane and Denzel Boston having some good exposure on those guys.
Picks.
They've been some fun risers, getting a little CLV there on them. So yeah, you can kind of mess around there. And then the lineups page I really like because it lets me. This is the rosterbation page. Let's be clear. When you're trying to find your favorite teams, like here I've got it sorted by closing line value. So what team did I get the best ADP value on? And so I can look. I've got this DK Millie team right here. Got 246 picks of CLV with 5 different stacked up teams, 12 total players stacked up. So it's a nice correlated team. And I can just pop this thing open and see all the stats on this team. So we've got Lamar, Jaden Daniels at a little bit of a fall here. Fernando Mendoza, got him earlier than he goes now. So that was a little L on CLV, but big CLV wins on Cam Scattaboo, Bashal Tootin, Jalen Warren, Rashad White. Got my guy George Halani in there. And then Puka, Nico at 29 is pretty nice. Your guy Josh Downs got a nice 30 pick CLV on him there. And then, look at this. We get Steph Diggs, Debo Samuel, just huge CLV on both of those guys.
That's the nut team, though, from, a couple. I assume this was a draft in May or June.
Yeah, this one was in May 4th. So, May the 4th be with you.
So I love this type of stuff. One, this is awesome. This is great for you to go back and kind of see if you were someone drafting all throughout the year or just someone drafting now and like, hey, I just started drafting. Like, this is cool. Like, these are the type of teams that you guys could make in May and stuff like that. It's just cool to kind of see, because I love when people will come on, like one guy gets hurt in camp and everyone's like, well, see, that's why you don't draft early. And I'm like, yeah, but what about the 50 guys that are rising like 20 picks in ADP that you could have got in the last round? And now all of a sudden, Marshawn Lloyd's in the 150s, and Debo Samuel's, in the 120s, Steph Diggs going at 90. It's like, what about those picks? You know what I mean? Are we just going to throw Byshell Tootin was going in the 60s at one point, like Bucky Irving in the 70s in some drafts. So you can always go both ways with it. That's why I love it. But just to be able to see the teams and stuff, and it kind of highlights it, is awesome.
The other thing that I think is pretty fun here is if you're wanting to see kind of how you've built teams, you can get really granular with your filtering here. And so, like, for example, if I want to see where's my hyper fragile teams at, so I want running backs where I've got, let's do greater than or equal to 4 running backs, because people say we'd be slamming the early running backs. So how about before pick 60? So four running backs through the first 5 rounds, right? So I can filter that down, and then I can see here, okay, 86 of my 743 teams
Wow.
have hyper fragile. And so then you can add as many filters as you want if you want to get really crazy with it, or sort by contest or entry fee or slow draft or fast draft, all that fun stuff. You can even add players here. So if I'm like, oh, I want to, Jacoby Lane's been steaming up. Where's my Jacoby Lane at? Oh, if this, looked like it
Jacoby
lagged out there
Lane's
for a
team is
second.
real too, by the way. It's very real.
But
It's
like I
happening fast.
can pull up here and see, okay, here's my hyper fragile team. What did this look like? I go Kenneth Walker, but then I get Javonte Williams at pick 41, Breece Hall at 32, David Montgomery at 56. It's like, yeah, those all seem pretty good. I got
look at
decent
Jonathan
CLV.
Brooks.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks at 137. That's some nice CLV there. So it's fun to just kind of explore through this. Little Deshaun Stribling, Debo Samuel. Yeah, this is Tank Dell CLV. Yeah, this is a fun one. So yeah, going through all this, play around with the filters. You can check it all out at apps.legendaryupside.com. You also can upload your custom rankings through this portal now as well. Also, you can still do it through the Sidekick settings page, but let's take a look at your exposures, JSU. I want to see where we differ.
Yeah, let's see where we differ. By the way, I'm gonna jump in a $100 3-entry max over on DraftKings. So if anyone wants to, why is this doing this? Hold on, it's making me. I got a new computer. I was telling Zach this, and what is this? What is going on here? Oh no. Let's see if this works now. Hopefully this works. Okay, there we go. For some reason, like all my settings are just messed up. You know what I mean? Like everything is like deny. You got to open this and allow this and type your password in. But here's my stuff here. So I've got just under 700 drafts here. I'm going for 1,000. That's my goal is 1,000 here. I forget where you started. You started the overview. So here's the quick overview for you guys. There's the total fees up top. But the player exposure is what everyone wants. So let's go to the player exposures here. Obviously, the top guy by fees is Luther Burden. Like, that's no shock, right? We talk about him every time I come on this show. He's got to be the top guy. I don't think any of these picks are going to be shockers to you, Zach, but what do you think here? Terrence Ferguson, number 2, with $3,242. Keaton Missile, number 3, with $2,680. Byshell Tootin, Malik Willis. Are you shocked by those top five?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised by any of them. I didn't know you had that much Blake Corum, which I like. I do like Blake Corum. We've come up on him over the course of the
Yeah.
summer. I'm hopeful that I can start catching you on Luther Burden with the little bit of injury dip. I've been getting him more, dude. I got a I think it was in a DK Millie. I got Luther Burden in the late fifth, and then Mike Evans came back to me in the sixth, and I was like, oh
Oh,
man, I
what?
gotta lock in for this one. So I'm hoping I can get my Luther Burden shares up. I think I'm pretty close to, even here on the field now with Luther Burden. So, which is nice. I've never been anti Luther Burden. I've more just been anti the Luther Burden price. So,
Yes.
pretty excited that it's looking like I might be able to get
It is
good Luther Burden
It
prices
is
now.
funny you say that though, because I noticed, I forget who I was doing I think I was doing a draft with Coach Speak, and it was kind of like right after the injury, and um we still were like a little bit in the like camp of like what's going on, like they haven't said anything yet, you know what I mean? And Luther Burden was top guy, and I was like, Luther Burden's the top guy right here, and it was like the fourth round, like towards the end of the fourth round, and I'm like, interesting. So they don't they're not worried about this injury, and I'm just like, I'll just click more Luther Burden. Here we go. And,
Yeah.
and then I was like, Kick told me to. So, when the Kick says I have to click Luther Burden, then I really have to click them. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I talk about these guys a lot. Blake Corum, I've been talking about the whole summer. So it's weird that you didn't
I knew you liked him. I didn't expect him to be that
that
much.
high.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to I like in that range, like he's been the running back I've mainly been clicking. Honestly, he'd have honestly, he would be like 35%. He'd be my highest guy if Josh Downs wasn't going in the same range. That's the only thing keeping Blake Corum from being, instead of 18%, being 30 or 35% is Josh Downs, because I click him a decent amount in that range. I feel like so. But yeah, no, going through it. Ted Hurst is up here. He's one of my favorite late clicks.
You got to feel good about the Ted Hurst drumbeat has been good.
I love the Ted Hurst drumbeat. There's my Tesla. Not feeling amazing about it, but
I'll pretend I do not see it.
hey, we got to call out the good with the bad. You can't have everything.
Oh,
perfect.
I got some stinkers that, I'm sitting on. I don't think Jeremy Bernard's a stinker, but like we sure wish that, we had a little
Let me
bit more
find
of
Jeremy Bernard here. Hold on, guys. Let's keep going. Jeremy, where are you, buddy? We'll find you eventually here. Where's Jeremy?
You may have to just search for Jeremy in the top right. He's buried.
At this point, I might have to search. I'm just messing with you. It is fun though to kind of like Omar Cooper. The stuff that's coming out about Omar Cooper and like Isaiah, whatever his name is, like, oh, some guy was like, oh yeah, he was really good in practice. And it's like, oh my God, the other wide receiver had a good practice day. Omar Cooper is dead. Like he has no chance of being
that one. I'm not putting too much weight on.
I don't even like love Omar Cooper, but like just to your defense, it's one, like it's the Jets. Like we don't really know what's going on. Two, he had good draft capital, so I understand why you guys liked them. And three, like why are we just listening? Let's wait and see him play a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's wait and see. The thing that scares me about Omar Cooper is the fact that I think they're going to play heavy tight end personnel a lot, and I think that's the thing that could hurt Omar Cooper. But you never know what happens. DeJohn's dribbling at 15%. I'm pretty happy about, because I feel like a lot of these clicks were the late.
Oh yeah, I mean your average pick on him is 176, so you got him cheap.
Well, I had him really high in my ranks when he was like in the 170s, 180s. I had him like 150s, 160s in my ranking. So I was clicking him a ton. Colston Loveland, I still have a decent amount. The Bears, right? Just keep clicking the Bears here. So, yeah, I mean, what's up? I mean, we have definitely different top exposures. I think some of our similar ones would be like Makai Lemon.
Yeah, Makai Lemon, Tank Dell, Bashal Tootin, we definitely share
Yep.
some of those. My goal is to try and it's going to be really it's hard to turn the Titanic, like 3,000 drafts. It's really hard for me to change my exposures meaningfully at this point. But my
Mhm.
hope is by the time I'm done, I'm overweight Luther Burden and I've got a lot of him, with at a slightly cheaper price than he was going for most of the summer. That's my dream. The dream outcome is I can be overweight Luther Burden because I love him as a
Zach,
player.
Zach, hold on. We're up right now. I didn't even
Oh,
realize this. We're up in the $100 and we have the 4 spot.
okay.
Who are you going at the 4? Because I got to pull up my
If you're worried about Puka, you could IKB off of him. We reviewed the Puka stuff and it doesn't do enough to move him out. We'd still take him at 4 overall. So I'm ready to buy the Dipperino on Puka if he does fall. But
I
if you're
just I just clicked them. So
okay,
I just clicked it. Let me shift on over here. Unless is there anything else you want me to get to? Because I did just click it.
no, those
Yeah.
were. I'm glad we went through those. It's fun to see. And yeah,
Here's the lineups page. So
oh yeah. See, let's see what your juiciest ADP CLV is. Sort by ADP there. Woo, baby, you got some good ones here. Plus 239. That's a pre-draft one. I bet you got some fun guys there.
what's this here? Lamar, Justin Herbert. Oh, Fernando Mendoza. Same as you.
Yep.
Let's see, Bijan,
Oh my
By
gosh.
Tune at 74.
And Brooks at 146. Jaden Blue 215. Wow.
Kamani Vidal and Ollie Gordon. Interesting. What was I even thinking about? Kamani Vidal and Ollie Gordon? Man, I must have been I don't know what I was thinking with those picks, but interesting. Nico Collins, Zay Flowers.
Yeah, Zay Flowers at 47, Mike Evans at 71. Oh, this is a monster, dude. Oh, 170 Debo. Brock Bowers at
QJ at
23.
98 is is
Yeah.
actually pretty decent here. Debo at 170, Jawan Jennings at 120, 122. I got Brock Bowers. TJ Hawkinson. Well, 194, I guess, isn't bad. And then T Ferg. Yeah, I forgot because those late tight ends were like easy to pair with like a stud. It was like perfect pre-draft. They were all going so late. Yeah, I like this team.
Yeah, that's a fun one, man.
That is a fun pre-draft team right there. Let's see. Is there any other how do I get back here?
Yeah, if you just click the little arrow to the left of like on the left-hand side of the thing, it'll minimize this.
There we go here. Let's see. That's a look at all those pre-draft ones. Tons of pre-draft. It's like all by CLV. Love that. All right. Well, let's get the stream back to the switch this and bang. All right, so we're picking out of the 4 spot here. This is the $100 3 max on DraftKings. If you are in this draft and you're drafting with us, please let us know. Let us know where you're picking out of, so we can check your team out while we are drafting this one right here. We did go Puka because I ain't scared of shit. Okay, we're gonna take him. Hopefully, he doesn't get suspended. I don't know. You said you guys reviewed it and you were not sold on a suspension. Is that
We just think the likelihood of a suspension is low enough that it doesn't meaningfully change where he would go in a draft. So it's in the Sims, but it doesn't really impact it.
Oh baby, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, yeah, happy to get that there.
What why does it feel like everyone just hates Derrick Henry every year, and every year he finds a way to just jam it up. And I'll put myself in this boat because in years past, I've done this where I'm like, I'm not picking Derrick Henry. Screw that. It's on DraftKings sack. No way I want Derrick Henry. And then every year he finds a way to just ruin me. And last year was like a prime example of just him absolutely ruining me. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done doing this to myself. He is the anomaly. I have to click him, and he always falls. So it's easy to do it. I feel like in this range, right before neighbors.
Yeah,
Are you scared of the Rashid Rice videos?
not really. We did lower him a little bit, especially early in the season. And those sims are still pushing. So if you wanted to IKB, you could do it to Zay Flowers
or
here.
T. Higgins? Who
I would
do you
do
like?
Flowers.
Okay.
We've got him ahead.
Let's do Zay Flowers.
Yeah, those sims just finished running. I'm going to get them pushed here.
Ooh, Jalen Waddle went right after at pick, what's that, 29? Jeez.
Okay,
Waddle.
I am clicking upload to get these new sims live.
After you saw my exposures, are you going to be pushing some of my favorite guys?
Yeah, I'm moving up Luther Burden here.
If I see Keaton Missile in my queue, I'm going to be super happy at like 120.
I don't think we moved Keaton a little while ago on the pass catching stuff because we thought that was pretty meaningful and different than how we had forecasted it, right?
My boy can catch the ball, baby.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So we've got a little tool when we upload new sims where this shows us our biggest differences. Do you want to guess who the biggest difference was today in the sims from what we had previously to now?
The biggest difference, Terrence Ferguson.
Your boy Cyrus Allen.
Oh,
yeah, we came up meaningfully on him.
I feel like I asked you about him too.
Yeah,
didn't we talk about him? I feel like last time
we did, and we had him on the radar, and just we were being cautious with it because the Chiefs have done this before, and then shoot, you look back at Rashee Rice's rookie season, Xavier Worthy's rookie season, and they really just kind of string these guys out where nothing happens until the very end of the season, and then they give them a little run. And so we were being cautious on it, but there's enough drumbeat now that we think there's some stuff of substance. We still think he's probably a little bit more of a back-weighted play. Just the Chiefs are pretty consistent in the way that they use these young guys. But we think that there's a lot of upside for him where it potentially could flow through. Hey, Rashee Rice isn't under contract next year. They decide Cyrus Allen is the way they want to go with that, option in the future. And by the end of the season, they're interested in seeing if Cyrus Allen can really be in the Rashee Rice role. And if you look at Cyrus Allen's profile in college, he kind of so Rice in college didn't really play out of the slot. He was all outside, right? And then the Chiefs saw, hey, we could use this guy as more of like a middle of the field underneath yards after catch type of guy. Cyrus Allen's college career looks like that, where he was an outside receiver until his last year. And then he moves into the slot and has an efficiency bump. And so, you could read this as the Chiefs saw, proof of concept Rashee Rice Jr. here in Cyrus Allen, where they're like, let's give that a shot and see if that works out for us. And so he could be the heir apparent to that role if they decide they want to go a different direction than Rice. So that's where we see like as the cleanest path for a lot of upside for him. Obviously, he could usurp Worthy or Thornton, all that stuff. But
all right, Zach, I think we got to do it here. There's a time when we would just click the top guy. There's all these shows where I just say, you know what? I capitulate to this top man, Cam Scatterboo. But you see this guy right below him. He's the top.
You don't want to try and push him? I love Cam Scatterboo.
Oh, dude.
I mean, we can take Burden if you want.
All right, fine.
But I've been getting Burden to come back to me in the 5th, and that's what I'm about that right now.
If you're in this draft right now and you take Luther Burden,
oh yeah, you're on the shit. You're
on
banned.
the shit list. You're banned. Okay.
Yeah,
you're
if you snipe Burden from us,
done. I'm talking to you, Brandon Elite. Don't even think about it. Brandon Elite 350 or Trust trust the 7 dust, whatever that is. Don't even think about it here. Just take your vegetables. Take David Montgomery. That's a good pick. Devontae Adams,
There
fine.
you go. Yeah, Devontae Adams. Yep. Mike Evans, I've heard, is looking good at camp.
Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a good player. Mike Evans is a
really good Hall of Famer.
Yeah, is a Hall of Famer right there. DeAndre Swift.
Swift also. Hey, Kyle Monangai, a little bit of a slow start. So
what do you think of the Swift stuff? Because I feel like Swift probably should be going with 2 in.
We came up a tiny bit on Swift, especially.
No!
Oh God!
Oh.
Are
you kidding me?
We're so close.
Oh, I want to break something right now. Who is this guy? I mean, we were rolling and he just ruined it.
You know what? That looks like a sidekick ass draft too. Look at his team. It's so sidekick coded.
I knew we were going to get screwed by a sidekick user. I just knew it. David Montgomery. Oh man.
But although it didn't work out for us, we did see Luther Burden in the 5th, and that's basically what my dreams are made of right now. I'm just like hoping I get.
The worst part about it is I do not like Cam Scadaboo.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
I think what we're gonna see from that team is terrifying with the OC.
It definitely could be. Yeah, Nagy's scary for sure.
It is terrifying to me. The Cam Scadaboo coming back from a serious injury, the new coaches, especially Nagy, and the fact that they're already talking about Devin Singletary and Tyler. Like I don't want 3 running backs on the field. Like I don't want that. If they pull the stuff like the Bucks pulled last year, we're totally screwed with all our Tracy, Scadaboo, we're all dead. So I don't love it. I'm going to say it. It scares the crap out of me.
I think my read on it is you're pretty insulated from Scadaboo, not having a very commanding hold on especially the most valuable opportunities. He's going to have goal line stuff pretty well locked down. He was very effective as a short yardage runner. Also, he's a very good receiver. Like I would hazard a guess that they prefer him to Tyrone Tracy as a receiving back. It's not like, oh, well, if we could have Tracy on the field for passing down stuff, we'd prefer him. I don't think that's the case. So I think Scadaboo just has a lock on the high value touches. And, every running back is going to end up splitting snaps somewhere or another. But I'm not super concerned about Devin Singletary at this point. If you go 3 years ago, Devin Singletary was kind of the bane of a lot of guys where on stat chasing, Dricko and I would refer to him as creeping Ivy because Devin Singletary just kind of works his way into a backfield and kind of wraps his little tendrils around stuff and just ends up he's just hard to extricate. He just makes himself a valuable part of the backfield. Coaches like him. He does the little stuff well. But I think at this point,
Ramondre Stevenson ahead of Travion Henderson in the 100. I mean, go get your guy, Bolt. I mean, don't even worry about it. This is go get your guy season right now.
It is absolutely get your guy season. I've been noticing it in the draft streets too. Like people are.
Oh, and Jordan Tyson goes at the 5-6 turn. I mean, come on. We can't have any fun. No Burden, no Tyson. This is the no fun draft here. I'm drafting with the worst 11 people that I could think of on DraftKings right now. Unbelievable.
Now, you know what I'm going to be interested in? We did lower Lemon's week 1 stuff off the hamstring concerns, and we lowered him before today as well off the hamstring stuff, but we're just being really conservative there.
Do we take Joe Burrow, or do you think Brian Thomas and Marvin Harrison is like a better?
I'm good with Brian Thomas. I think we've got some decent quarterback stacking options that are coming later too. Just with the way that, we could easily get Dart later. We could be pretty happy with, getting Matt Stafford with Puka later. And so I'm not so compelled to take Joe Burrow. I know we've got the week 17 bringbacks with the Ravens here, but yeah, I think
you don't love taking Eric All at the end of drafts, do you?
He's popped up very rarely in the Sims. I've seen him be popped up there in the 20th round.
K Sizzle coming in. Who are your flag plants? K Sizzle, if you after this show is over, just rewind back to the start of the show because I assume you just came here. You will see our flag plants because you will see the amount of dollars we have on our top players, and bang, it'll be very obvious. So go
Yep.
check out the beginning of the video. It'll show you we showed all of our top exposures by dollar amount. All right. Caleb Williams is still here. Jalen Hurts is top of the kick.
Yeah, I would do Hurts here, and that's probably one of the other reasons why the kick was totally fine passing on Burrow there. 'Cause
I
it's like,
assume.
by the way, have you seen all the Hurts stuff out of camp? They're saying he looks the fastest he's ever been. They're lining him up under center a lot more, doing more boot for him, which I think is really bullish for the offense. And Hurts, Saquon specifically, I think that's really good for them to run more under center, and then also have Hurts doing more stuff where he's getting out of the pocket, has the ability to scramble. He's just like more set up to run. I think that's really bullish for the Eagles offense as a whole.
I was on mute for a sec. I'm just going to say that Jalen Hurts is an amazing pick. Caleb Williams outscores Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, okay.
Caleb Williams outscores Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams outscores. Ooh, Drake May's close. I think I have them I think I literally have them in my ranks, like right next to each other.
Let me see how close we have it.
Caleb Williams is such a good pick. I can't believe he took Joe Burrow, so I guess that makes some sense why he passed on the Loveland drafter got him. I do like that team. Yeah, I know you're not as high on Caleb. I know you guys came up a little bit on Caleb. I think Caleb is going to smash.
Yeah, we have Hurts clearing Caleb, not by a mile or it's certainly reasonably close.
I do really like Hurts though. I am bullish on the running stuff. I did think it was funny. Did you see the video that the Eagles social media team posted?
Why? What are they doing?
Jalen Hurts throwing a pick to Quinyon Mitchell, and it's like, that's your quarterback.
I get you want to gas up Quinyon Mitchell, but yeah, it felt a little weird.
I was like expecting Jalen Hurts to like throw a bomb to somebody, and then all of a sudden I see this like 15-yard floater that Quinyon just like jumps.
Just an absolute dead duck.
Yeah, literally. It was like, okay, I'm trying to hype myself up on clicking Jalen Hurts. Okay, you're not helping that guy.
Yeah, that was not the highlight you wanted to see. No. But all the reporting I'm seeing, the Athletic has been saying Jalen Hurts has been looking really good every day, doing lots more rushing.
I mean, these guys are gonna have bad plays. They just they happen. Oh baby, Blake Corum.
There you go.
Blake Corum.
Add another share to the pile.
Just plug them in, people. Just plug them in. I don't get my burden, but I get some Corum. I mean, our running backs are pretty friggin'. We got Henry, Scadaboo. I mean, talk about Henry, Scadaboo, some bulls right there. And then you got Montgomery just plodding his way through, and Blake Corum. That's a group right there.
Yeah, we got some big boys in the running back room.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, honestly, these are 4 running backs. Like, I'm not saying we have to be done, but I could be done with 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up done here. Although maybe we get a little of some of our favorite late round guys, maybe a little Marshawn Lloyd as a treat at the end of the draft.
Yeah, I could see this team it pushing someone like that, as a 5th guy.
Okay.
Chuba Hubbard keeps falling. Like, I know the kick isn't really into Chuba Hubbard, but it will sometimes put him up there. Like, do you just buy him when he falls pretty much?
Yeah, when he pops up at the because we've kind of neutered him in the Sims. Like, if you're a Chuba bear, you're like, there's no way this guy's a good click.
Do you see this?
I did. We're working on new Sims right now. The rankings team is messaging me.
First off, I'm gonna throw this out there. Mekhi Lemon's at the top of the kick. Do you want to just?
Yeah, we windmill jam him right here because we lowered him, and so if he still is popping up after we lowered him, that's all I need.
He's the pick. I got to give a shout out. The guy who put me on, I'm the first human being to click Darren Waller in a 5.55 on DraftKings sack. And I swear to God, this was like maybe a month ago, but 3 weeks ago. I had Zane Dahani on the pod on the stream, and Zane told me this dude was at tight end. He's ready. He's gonna sign somewhere. And I'm like, really interesting. He's like, it's not really being reported, but Darren Waller is gonna sign. And I'm like, all right. And we got to our last pick, and he's like, Darren Waller. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this guy's crazy. He wants me to take Darren Waller in 5.55. I'm like, I love this. All right, sure, we'll do it. Darren Waller signed with the Panthers. I mean, they need a tight end. It makes sense.
Well, shout out to Zane. I know he's been grinding this offseason, and yeah, dude, being plugged in like that definitely pays dividends. I mean, it really has felt like this offseason in particular, it feels like there's a lot of stuff that's getting missed by the market. Like there's stuff that's just going where teams are telling you straight up, and I, see people not reacting to it, and it feels weird because I feel like there's so much reaction to news, and there's still things that just kind of go by the wayside and people are not aware of them. And so it is, if you do find a thing like that, like, hey, I know Darren Waller's going to sign, like, that's a great example of like just paying attention when the market is not, can be really helpful.
Yeah, I get it. It is Bryce Young. I totally get it. But if we look at it this way, the upside is they have no good tight ends. So Darren Waller should be able to get on the field and run some routes, right? It's not like he's stuck in a room with a good tight end ahead of him. So yeah, Chris said throw the link to the app in the chat. So Sack just posted it in the chat. If you guys want to check it out, apps.legendaryupside.com/ if you guys want to see what we were showing earlier, the new little tool over at Leg Up. What's the subscription you need? Just a Leg Up sub?
Any Leg Up subscription will do.
Bang.
You just need to have the Sidekick or Kickstand installed. That's how we are grabbing your exposures and teams. So if you, just the same way you would get your exposures into the Sidekick for DraftKings, you go to the lineups page, it'll automatically pull those in to that page there. And then for Underdog, you just upload them via CSV upload.
Zach, can you explain to me the Brock Purdy fall?
No, I cannot.
I don't.
I can't.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're going. You wanted Cam Scatterboo. We're going Jackson Dart.
You can certainly do that. I would say the rationale behind how, if I were a person who didn't know what the inputs were, I'd be like, well, I think Kyler gets benched even more often than the Leg Up team does, and that's how I'm IK being off this. I will say, for anyone out there that kind of wants a little peek behind the curtain, Kyler's one of our highest bench risk quarterbacks in the Sims. So
really,
yeah, we do think that he does get benched a lot. And the Sims still think he's a pretty good pick. So all that being said, I still don't think this is an unreasonable place for someone who doesn't have the ability to look at all the inputs on a granular detail to be like, I don't know about this one. I'll IKB to Dart.
I like that. Zane said today in his pod, he talked to a longtime Bear source that confirmed the offense is going to run through Luther Burden. Yeah, I read something about that. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Zane does really good work. He seems plugged in. I would not doubt it. Jordan Mason, nope. I refuse.
Really? You're an anti-Jordan Mason guy. I mean, he's a big ADP faller here. He's 15 spots.
He is, but man, Jake Ferguson for this team.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like we don't need this running back either.
I think the way that it kind of shakes out in the Sims is when you only have 4 running backs, and like passing on Jordan Mason here probably means we end up staying at 4. It's right. Like Jordan Mason can end up helping a lot just on like the off weeks where it's like, Henry's on bye and I just had a bad week. You don't even need an injury. It's like Derrick Henry's on bye and Cam Scatterboo didn't score a touchdown this week. Just simple stuff like that where it's hard for, like, there's no way my brain is going to be able to figure out the frequency at which like that helps me and helps me advance a team that otherwise wouldn't advance. But even like, hey, if Jordan Mason gave me 15 that week and Scadaboo would have been 10, like how much does that extra 5 points help me? And I think that's really valuable in the Sims. And also like when you think about not even regular season, but you get into the playoff weeks and dude, like I'm sure, you've played best ball long enough to look at, you're looking at your teams and playoff pods and you're like, shit, dude, my best team scored 169 and in any other pod it advances, but here it died. And if I had 3 more points, this thing advanced it. Like we've all looked at our best teams, in week 17, like what
Isn't
could have
that the
been.
fun thing in week 16 for everyone to go look and be like, I was in the pod of death with
Yes.
like a bunch of people that scored 210 plus, and my team scored that, and I still lost. And
So
you're just
my
sitting there like that.
my horror story for that last year, I think it was pretty deep in the eliminator. It wasn't like the very end, but it was like week 11 or something, maybe week 10. And I had a JSN, JT, McBride, and there was one other, I think CMC. I can't remember. It was an insane team, and it got bounced. It like ran into another super team and died, and that one would have been. I think every other week it was like a 90 something percentile
Oh,
score. So
yeah.
it was
See, that's when you
would have
just gotta
walked to the
stop.
finals.
You gotta stop thinking about it.
No,
Like at that
yeah.
point. By the way, I just want to shout out. We have a ball knower at the 12 spot here. Isaac Tesla goes at pick 132. Just
Wow.
an
It is get your guys sizzing.
just an absolute ball knower here. I got to check out his team here real quick. Genty, Saquon, Josh Allen, Kyron Williams, Tyler Warren, Jordan Tyson. Oh, he's the one who took Tyson. Alec Pierce, Jaden Reed, Kyle Monungai, Jacoby Myers, Isaac Tesla, Fernando Mendoza. Ball knower.
Dude, have
All
you
I'm saying.
seen the Daniel Jones stuff coming out of camp?
So, oh man, Daniel Jones over Malik Willis.
I think Daniel Jones is a smash right now, man. They're saying he looks phenomenal. Like,
Well, I agree with you. I don't like taking Daniel Jones naked. I would rather take Malik Willis naked.
you can. I wouldn't do it, but I won't stop you.
Mm,
Dude, think about
I'll
the
do it. I'll
think
do
about
it.
the Colts offense last year compared to what you think the Miami Dolphins offense is going to be this year. Like, if we get the Colts even at 90% of what they were when Daniel Jones was healthy last year, like that seems like a pretty big discount we're getting on Daniel Jones. And it seems like all systems go. And also he's missing Alec Pierce right now in camp. They were doing they've got joint practice with the Patriots right now. And they were chugging along with, I mean, dude, their second and third receivers right now are freaking Ashton Doolin and Nick Westbrook-Akine. They're
Yep.
talking about Josh Downs and Tyler Warren just moving the chains over and over on a very good Patriots defense. Like Daniel Jones, I think, is pretty undervalued. I think people just aren't reacting to the fact that he looks good and fully recovered in camp.
Yeah, I'll say one other thing about Daniel Jones. I was actually on with Coach Speak earlier, and we have this tool that we put into our NFL hub, and it shows for the last like 15 years coaches, and we're up right now. Travis Hunter is at the top of the kick. I do like Travis Hunter. Chig is also here too.
We did move Chig down a tiny bit on the Diggs signing. Just think that hurts him a little bit to have like another
I think
real.
he's still going to be the red zone threat though.
We still think he's good. Like I still get Chig.
I'm clicking him.
Okay.
I'm capitulating to Chig Okonkwo here. I get why you guys moved him down, but I think he's still Jaden loves the tight ends down in the goal line, and I think he's still the clear goal line target there for Jaden.
And did you see the stuff?
Not his game.
They said they're moving Chig around, lining him up out wide and stuff. I really think they're going to use him effectively. He's a tight end in name only. Like, he's going to be out there running all the routes and stuff. He's a lot closer to a receiver than he is a tight end. And he's been a smaller guy. He's not really, that inline hand in the dirt type player.
No.
So.
You can play him where he wants, but he should be moved around. He should be used all over the field because that's where you're going to get the best out of him. I still like Chig, but I get why you guys moved him down. But back to Shane Steichen. we have a tool that shows all the positions and all the coaches and how in their years coaching staff, like how the positions from a fantasy standpoint, DraftKings scoring, they produce. And Shane Steichen, it is a small sample. It's only like 3 years, but Shane Steichen, guess where he was in the quarterback range?
Well, let's see. Let me think through who Shane Steichen's quarterbacks were.
And just think like fantasy production, DraftKings scoring, like
Gosh, who were all of? Hang on, I gotta think through this. Because he was.
do you think it's good, bad, or middling?
Well, let's see. So he had like kind of a death sentence in Indy for a couple years, so it's probably going to be not great. Then he has some Hurts years, so it's going to be good. And then did he catch the beginning of Justin Herbert's career? I think he's probably middling, but maybe the prior Indy years make it bad. Where did he come out?
He was a plus 27, which was the second highest of
Oh,
any
okay.
coach on the board.
Okay, so
Which
he
I
man
was
even in the
stunned.
bad Indy years, he managed to make it okay.
Yeah, from a fantasy standpoint, even the bad. So I was like, wow, like I knew it was good with Shane Steichen. I didn't realize it was that good with quarterbacks, which was like way ahead of a lot of other spots. So yeah, I'm buying the Daniel Jones stuff. I just don't love it when we don't have anyone from Indy at this point and we click them because I can't find a cheap guy. Like in the chat, Duke Talk says you can get Burks. Like I'm not into the Burks
No.
stuff. Jaden Blue goes. Um,
My most drafted player, Dalton Schultz, at the top of the kick.
yeah, Jalen McMillan is still here. I feel like that's too much of a fall. Dalton Schultz. Who do we have at tight end? We have
Right now, we
Ferguson
only have Ferguson. I think getting the
and
Dalton
Chig. We have
Schultz.
Chig.
Oh, we do have Chig. Okay.
I'm gonna click Jalen McMillan. Oh no, we're going Schultz. We went kick. I went back and forth on that one.
Yeah, I do think that having naked Daniel Jones is fine. That's one of the things that I really value the sidekick for is it's helping me tell when it's okay to be like, hey man, this quarterback is just gonna score more points than the other quarterbacks going around him.
Right.
Don't even worry about this. Like, would we like to have a stack on him? Yeah, we'd probably like him to be stacked more often than not in teams where we take Daniel Jones, but it's not mandatory. And so it's like, just as an extreme example, pretend Josh Allen fell to the 8th round and in this very fake hypothetical universe, all the Bills players already go off the board before then. You're not going to be like, well, I can't take Josh Allen in the 8th round because I can't stack him. You're like, no, I'll just take the discount. And so that's the Sims are just able to do that in a much more like sensitive and refined way where it's like, hey, at this price, man, just go ahead and go with it. And so that's why I like it. I understand wanting to be more stacked though. And if that's something people like to IKB to, that's totally fine. But that's kind of my perspective on it.
Dang. So Wicks goes, which I was
He's been
hoping.
screaming up, man.
Yeah, I was hoping to get him with Hurts. I do like both these receivers though coming up.
I like all 4 of these receivers. Basically, if my drafts end with all 4 of these guys, I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Do we have that much of Houston? We have we have David Montgomery and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
All right, we can go with some Tank Dale. Some Tank Dale.
He's been looking good there. He's on pace with the ramp up stuff, practicing in pads, full go. So that does seem pretty good. The stuff I'm worried about and that we're worried about in the Sims with Tank Dell is what if it's unfortunately and very sadly just over for the guy off a really bad injury, So we've got that reflected in there where it's like, hey man, this is a great effort to come back and be able to play NFL football again, but like it's a brutal injury. It's possible that it's just, kind of like how we saw with Nick Chubb. Like, dude, I wanted to root for Nick Chubb so bad last year, but it was done, and so
Yeah.
we've got that in the Sims where that's a possibility. And if that happens, I do think, Jalen Knoll becomes pretty interesting. I think the thing that's kind of not great for Jalen Knoll is that they're really into Jaden Higgins as a big slot now. And Tank Dell, I think people like misconstrue his archetype and think that he's a slot receiver. He's not. Tank Dell lines up outside, and he had, his great rookie season. He did, mostly from the outside. So I think that Jalen Knoll is more so competing with Higgins, and the fact that they've kind of decided on Higgins over Knoll, it kind of bums me out because I thought I liked Knoll better as a prospect coming out, but Higgins, is the bigger bodied guy, and they seem to prefer him there. But if Dell was totally dead, I do think that they'd find a way to get Knoll and Higgins on the field, and maybe then Higgins takes more snaps out wide, and they allow they allow Knoll to move into the slot. But
Yeah, that's interesting. So you had Knoll as a better prospect overall than Higgins.
I think Pat's model had Higgins better. I really liked Knoll. I thought NFL teams might like Knoll a little bit more than Higgins. He was a really good separator in college. I felt like it was safer for his game to translate to the NFL than Higgins' game to translate to the NFL. It does seem like the Texans disagree with me, though.
Yeah, it is what it is. That we are just getting absolutely just.
Dude, yeah, Jacoby
Nice.
Lane, Patty Ice. You saw Pat Bryant's new nickname is Patty Ice now, yeah?
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. They love Patty Ice over there.
I finally got the rankings team to come meet me where I'm at on Pat Bryant. We've been moving up on him
And
steadily.
Cyrus Allen. Cyrus Allen just went.
No,
I wanted some
all
Cyrus Allen.
all our guys.
Unbelievable. I think we need a receiver here.
I'm good with. I kind of like the discount on Sadiq. I know the injury stuff. We've got it in though. We have the injury stuff being bad for the start of the season in there. And think about our tight ends. We've got the boring milquetoast white dudes. We got Jake Ferguson, Dalton Schultz. I guess we got Chig, but
Chig.
I like Sadiq for the upside swing though, to kind of help us, make this tight end room get a little more zesty.
I feel like we're a little behind at receiver though. What do you think?
Puka, I think there's still guys. I mean, we started with Puka and Zay, and so then it's like, really, we're just looking to fill out that wide receiver 3 spot. And I think we can kind of do that through mass quantity here. We've already got, Lemon, who I think by the end of the season is going to be very strong. I think he's pretty massively mispriced.
Yep, I agree.
And then, dude, what if, go with me on a journey. What if Tank Dell's 90% of what Tank Dell was?
If Tank Dell is 90% of what he was, then we have a slam dunk.
Then we win the whole thing, right? And we're talking about how we're chopping up our winnings.
And I can't even get Ted Hurst at 196.
Honestly, I'm fine if that means we get Zachariah Branch. I've been getting no Branch because he was the hotness for a while.
He was.
Now there's other guys that are the hotness. I want to turn with Zachariah Branch,
Yeah, I wanted to stay on the Ted Hurst wagon. I like Zachariah Branch too. I'm drafting him, so I don't want to sound like I'm mad that I got Zachariah Branch. I wanted them both. I wanted both of them. I only got one.
Let me pull up this wide receiver room that I had the other day because I know you'll like it. Let me find this. It was like my last 5 or 6 picks were all really fun.
Wide receivers.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Jim will probably run one more.
Okay, here's what I had. Starting in the 16th round, Trey Harris, Jacoby Lane, Jeremy Bernard, Ted Hurst, Keenan Allen. I was pretty happy to end the draft that way.
Yeah, that's a good draft right there.
And then someone else posted another sidekick draft. Denzel Boston, Travis Hunter, Jawan Jennings, Jacoby Lane, Calvin Ridley, Jeremy Bernard, Keenan Allen.
It's just literally. That's so good.
So I think that's why the sidekick's okay with us being like, hey, let's get some upside with Kenyon Sadiq. He's kind of like the most exciting guy left at tight end. And then mix a little Caleb Douglas into our life, maybe a little Malachi Fields to stack up with our Jackson Dart. So I think receiver is bountiful at the end. They're not all going to work, but there's a lot of dart throws we can make.
There are a lot of dart. The problem is the dart throws have shifted mightily.
People are interested now.
Yeah, the dart throws that used to be are all 16th, 17th, 18th round picks. And Now we're pushing the guys that were sometimes not getting drafted into the 20th, the 19th, 18th, 20th round. Like Malachi Fields just went in
Yeah.
round
And
18.
he was going undrafted. Oh my God, Caleb Douglas goes.
I can't even get Caleb Douglas in this draft
Dude, this
anymore.
room, we must have some friends and family in here because we're
Hey, I brought up Caleb Douglas to you before he
you
started
did.
streaming. I told you. I knew there was going to be one guy that would do it, and I knew it was going to happen. So we're back up on the clock here.
I like Surratt. Have you seen now Bateman? The Bateman injury seems like it's pretty minor. He
I mean,
seems
I
like
got a good healthy amount of Surratt here, so I'm okay clicking
yeah. I
a
think
little
basically
Elijah
the
Surratt.
Surratt bet is probably a little bit more aligned with like your more classic backweighted rookie bet at this
Yeah.
point, where it looks like Lane is going to be the favorite to start the season. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if by the end of the season, Surratt usurps Bateman or Surratt and Lane are splitting time, something like that. So I'm still happy to click Surratt, but it definitely, I prefer my Lane bags currently.
I've noticed you guys get up on Devon Ville at the end. Now
Yeah,
I've seen them
we
started to come
sprinkle
up.
him in a little bit. He hangs out there. He's in the mix
I've
for
just
sure.
seen him at the top of the kick a few times recently. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I got him once or twice today doing some drafts.
Antonio Williams. Don't see
We
that one.
neutered him pretty hard, so I'm a little surprised to see him, but I guess all the other receivers, this room gobbled them up.
You guys aren't into old Tyquan Thornton?
I think we think Tyquan Thornton's kind of in danger with your guy Cyrus Allen.
He might be. He might be, honestly. Nick Singleton goes. Let's see. I think Antonio Williams might be in danger right here by Trust or the guy who stole Luther Burden from us. I'm still not over it.
Oh, you're gonna remember it, for the
I'm
rest of your
still not
life.
over it.
You're
Yep.
gonna remember his screen name.
Antonio Williams just goes. We can't even get Antonio Williams in this draft. This draft is brutal.
That's okay. I don't mind getting, Xavier Legette or these guys here at the end. I do like Darnell Washington though. I'd
I
throw
like
another tight end in the
Darnell.
pile.
I think I'm going to stick with 4 tight ends. So
Okay.
let's do Ville because he's the next one on the kick, and I have some Ville, so I don't mind adding a little more. I think he's fine. My problem with Ville, I think, is the same thing. Like now they got Tyson. There's probably not going to be that much to go around, but how does he get more? I mean, guy goes down, he might have to step up. You just never know what can happen in a full season. So, and it's a good offense, I think, to kind of bet on. So I'll click him every now and then, but I do think overall Jordan Tyson is just gonna smash and be a problem.
Yeah, we've got a decent amount of Tyson. Let me see where he's at for me. Got looks like 10.6%. So I'm a little overweight. He does go near some of the quarterbacks that we like there too.
Yeah.
I bet you're probably heavier Tyson than me because I think you dislike Jadarian Price and he goes in a similar range too.
I am, but I also for some of the summer was alternating between Tyson and Carnell as opposed to planting my flag on one. And now I'm just completely Tyson over Tate.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like in the rankings, everything. I'm just Tyson over Tate. So, but that was only like a couple weeks ago. I did that move. So that was more recent. I wish I did it from the start. That was probably a mistake on my part, but
yeah. Let's see. I'm slightly Tate over. I got 16.7% Tate and 10
well, I
and
think that's
change
another
Tyson.
reason why you don't have more Tyson because you guys were clicking Tate over Tyson for a decent amount. Because if you weren't, you'd probably have like 20% Tyson.
Right.
If
we weren't into Tate, we'd have a lot more Tyson, I'm sure.
Right. Exactly. Damn, Esco says Ville, my 3rd highest owned wide receiver.
Wow.
Demario Douglas.
We do actually have Demario Douglas moved up a little bit in the Sims. I think the thing with Demario Douglas that makes him, you probably won't see him a ton. I think I've seen him in there, but I don't think he's been a top click for me. Is even when he's getting play, I bet you it's a very rotational thing where he's splitting time with Booty and he's splitting time with Mac Hollins, and so it's probably going to be tough for him to have a really high ceiling. But if you've been, a leg up subscriber for any amount of time, in the past, we've been major Pop Douglas believers. I think every year except this one, we were pretty overweight Pop Douglas. So
Yeah, no, I just think it's a tough click. Pop Douglas, they got too many mouths to feed over there.
yeah, I think I am still 0 for my guy Pop, unfortunately. Oh, I lied. I do have one Demario Douglas
You're
draft
such a liar.
over 3,000 teams.
Okay, so oh yeah.
I
Yep.
already know who you're clicking. Yeah,
Yep.
Brennan Thompson.
We're doing it, people. Look at that. Look at that man. That man. By the way, did you see I think it was his wife retweeted my post like a couple weeks ago?
No way. That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's awesome.
I said, are you guys buying it now? And it was the presser where they were talking up, the coach was talking up Brennan Thompson or whatever. And I retweeted like, are you guys buying on him now? And then she retweeted it or something like that. So I don't
really
know.
fun.
I'm assuming it's his wife, but I could be who knows? But it looked like his lady or his wife. All right. So if anyone wants to, I'm gonna hop in a $25 best ball, 3 million to first. So we get another one in, and we'll go through our $100 three max team, and then we'll do one more draft and hop out of here. So I'm jumping in now. So if anyone wants to get in, I'm jumping in. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
We've got new Sims running right now with Darren Waller. So well before we'll be concerned with drafting Darren Waller, we'll have new Sims up. So
all right, perfect. Oh, we should have drafted Darren Waller. Darn.
That's okay. We may see him here in this draft.
Yeah, we might see him. I love that. So this was our team out of the 4 spot. We went a 3 quarterback, 4 running back, 9 receiver, 4 tight end build. Puka, we ain't scared. Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Cam Scadaboo, David Montgomery, Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen Hurts, Blake Corum, Makai Lemon, Jackson Dart, Jake Ferguson, Daniel Jones, Chigo Konkwu, Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, Kenyon Sadiq, Zachariah Branch, Elijah Surratt, Devon Vile, and Brennan Thompson here to finish us out. By the way, I just wanted to look. Where did Isaiah Likely go? Zach, was I right about Isaiah Likely or was I right? Look at this dude's steam.
I mean, he's shooting up. I believe I will be abstaining from that.
I know you're not in on the Likely stuff, but you gotta admit, like I told you he was gonna steam.
You did, yeah. I have 3 Isaiah Likely shares for a total of $7 across my 3,000 drafts. So not a full fade.
Guys, I did a good job. I got Zach to put $7 on Isaiah Likely.
He said, let's just little sprinkle here, little.
All right. So let's we'll hop over to the new draft here. Give me a second. We are picking out of the 11 spot. All right. Yeah. So we're picking out of the 11 spot here. If you are in this draft, let us know where you're picking. I can see my guy Jim Jerry in the 3 spot. So I assume a nice Chase drafter right there. All right. Well, at least Jim's on the other side of the board.
Yeah, he won't be sniping us on our guys, at least not right as our neighbor or anything.
Big money on Likely. People into it. Honestly, I'm even shocked that he's going as high as he's going right now. And I had him pretty high. Like I had him ranked in that tight end like clumping with like Travis Kelsey, Jake Ferguson. Who else is in there? George Kittle, Dalton Kincaid. I'm missing Mark Andrews, Dallas Goddard. I had Isaiah Likely ahead of all those guys in the rankings. Like, but like still close. They were all like clumped together. I just had him as like the best of that one. But like that was like 119, you know what I mean? Like 118. He is literally steaming up into like the 107, 105. He might break 100. Like he might get under 100.
I mean, I think in some circumstances that's kind of what you're like, let me get the guy at the good prices, unless it's someone that you think is just such a steal, you know.
Yes,
That,
yes, yes, yes.
but if you think, hey, this guy's okay, then you're kind of happy to wave goodbye sometimes.
All right. We happy to click James Cook here?
Yeah, I'm underweight James Cook. I think you are too. But
That was not confidence when you told me you were happy.
no, I am like, I don't want to fade James Cook. Like, I don't want to full fade him, certainly. If I end up with 6 or 7% James Cook, I feel fine about that. But I don't want to end up too low on him. I think he's probably a slightly worse bet than some of these other running backs that go around him.
All
But
right,
it's reasonable. He nukes with touchdowns again.
we got a ball knower at the turn again. He just went Kenneth Walker at 12. So absolute ball knower. Ashton Genty, yes.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
good with Genty.
this is honestly who I wanted. The one guy I feel like the kick and a lot of other people, I feel like the kick is disrespecting is Chase Brown.
We actually just moved up on him, not today, but on Monday. We came up on him a little bit. So you should see him a little more. I think I'm
He
actually,
just jumped up.
yeah, I have right now I've got 5.5% Chase Brown. But I have been seeing him more since we made that change. So I would expect to get probably closer to 6 or 7% by the time we close. I think a big reason for the underweight stance on Chase Brown is I'm drafting a lot of Brock Bowers there instead.
Yeah. So the only reason why I only have 8% Chase Brown, because I have him ranked ahead of Saquon. I have him ranked either 13 or 14. I can't remember, whatever it is. So I have him ranked pretty high in that range, but I have Kenneth Walker ranked ahead of him. So like I'm clicking Kenneth Walker and Ashton Genty, who I have ahead of him, more. So that's hurting my Chase Brown. But I think he is a really good pick, and I think he should probably go ahead of Saquon, and everyone should have that as in their rankings. I think it should be Chase Brown ahead of Saquon.
I think the part of drafts that I'm like the least I wish guys went in a slightly different order is that, beginning of the second round, because I really like Saquon. I really like Bowers and AJ Brown. I really like Genty there. I really like Ken Walker there. I'm not super into the Amari and Hampton price there. Normally Devon Achane goes a little later in this draft. He goes earlier. I don't love the Derrick Henry price. He slides a little more in this draft. When you get Henry at the end of the second round, I'm pretty into it.
Feels good when you get him in the Puka, Chase,
right.
Pickens, like this type of range here, that back four.
But yeah, it makes it tough. Just it feels like the guys that I really want to get more of are hard to get more of without ending up with, because I'm already fading Hampton. I'm fading Chase Brown a little bit. I don't really want to have a big fade on him, but like if it's sacrifice some Chase Brown to get more Brock Bowers, I'm okay with that. But that's the tough part for me. It's like, I don't really want to full fade Hampton, but like, I'd like more Ken Walker, and so I wish those guys if Hampton went at the end of the second round, I think I'd be a pretty happy camper. I'd feel a little better about that. But anyway, that's kind of the toughest spot on the board for me, is how I feel about the guys.
Yeah, no. And that's the hard part is like, you have guys that you like that the problem is they're just below guys that you love. So you're like, I love Brock Bowers. I just want to take Brock Bowers. Like I want Brock Bowers. Sorry, Chase Brown. You are a really good pick too, but I'm clicking him. That's how I feel about Kenneth Walker. You know what I mean? It's just like I feel like he's such a good pick, but we could look back on that and be like, that was just wrong. Like
Oh,
maybe.
we're
So
gonna be wrong. As soon as week 1 happens, we'll be really wrong. But
when Chase Brown puts up the 30 burger in week 1 and we're sitting
yep.
there like shit. All
Oh,
right.
I love getting Brees here though. I'm gonna have a huge bag of Brees on DK. That's
So
just
yeah, I am too, but don't you feel like Brees has a better chance to fall to us? Because
he could. Yeah, I'm down to try and push him if you want.
like I think we have a better chance of getting Brees on the turn than Lad on the.
We did come up on Lad a little bit today too.
Because I'm with you. I love Brees Hall. Like I want to click him more. It's just think we got a better, and this guy goes Loveland there.
Yeah.
The only reason why I said it too was I saw this guy at the turn went Hampton and Walker. So that made me think, okay, he's got a plan. Like
Yeah.
he might be doing something. And
Good
look,
shout.
bang. We
Yeah.
still get Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall in the 4th round is just wrong.
That's stealing. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta come up on him. Like I gotta make sure
I
come
think
up
that's
on
a
him so I get
great call.
more.
This is like people who use the sidekick and you're like, gosh, when do I IKB? Take notes. That's when you IKB because JSU saw that the guy on the turn probably lets us get Brees Hall. He had the later ADP. And if you really like a guy like Lad McConkey there, or Garrett Wilson or Jalen Waddle, whoever it is that you're like, that's the exact kind of spot where I would say that's the smartest way to IKB when you think you still can get the guy that the Sims say makes you the most money and you get to squeeze a little dessert in on top. We just got a Lad McConkey slice of cake for dessert there.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And like you said, that's not the bad way that I sometimes IKB. That was the actual smart, like there was a plan in place and I actually had a reason for it.
Yeah, that's how you make the sidekick better. Like
Yeah.
if the sidekick's like, hey, this makes you the most money, you're like, I got you sidekick, but what about if I got this guy and another guy that you think make me the most money? That's beautiful right there.
That's the way. Tiger Uppercut says rumors from camp are that Cook is going to catch more passes. Yes, I've been hearing that for a while now.
Don't want to full fade him by any means. Like I just think of those running backs that go around there, he's my least favorite. Again, not like you said, he's not a guy I hate. I really like some of the other guys better.
This is my favorite sack. Yeah, I hate James Cook. Let's draft him.
The thing you got to get used to is you got to hold multiple outcomes in your head at once, right? You got to see the really good James Cook seasons. You got to see the really bad James Cook seasons and try and balance those in your head.
I think this is a fair thing for people who are watching, right? To be like, wait, so Sack doesn't like James Cook, but then the kick is saying, take James Cook. Well, one, Sack has all like he can see all like the out. So you're looking at all the bad and the good with all these guys. So you're looking at like, what does it look like when it's good? What does it look like when it's bad? And it's the Sims. It's not all your inputs, right? It's, shady advice and then like the team of guys that you have over at Legendary Upside. So it isn't just this is Sack's thoughts. Like everything that Sack thinks is going to happen is bang. That's not what the kick is, right, Sack?
Yeah, all of us individually are much worse than our collective wisdom together that make up the team that comes up with the sim inputs. Like I would be a lot more wrong than us as a group because we help where someone has a weakness, the rest of us can help pick up that, we're all consuming so much information, but it's impossible for one person to consume everything. And so that's the power of using a large team like that, where we can all aggregate the information that we have and be able to think through it together and come up with cohesive inputs.
I will say, though, it is confusing if you're just listening. If you're just watching this for the first time and you're like, wait, so the guy likes him, he doesn't like him. Which one is it? It's like, it's not
both. The way I feel about it is both things can be true. I can have both. I can dislike a guy and like him at the same time because I'm able to think through like, it could be really, dude, could James Cook score 20 touchdowns this year? Oh yeah, I can see that absolutely happening. Could he also have a year where he only scores 5? He still gets a bunch of rushing work, but Josh Allen just runs a ton in, and maybe DJ Moore scores a bunch. Dalton Kincaid scores a bunch. Keon Coleman all of a sudden has a resurgence, and it's like, dude, James Cook just got unlucky this year, didn't score touchdowns.
Zach, what? So, what do you think about going Lamar here, getting a stud quarterback, and then trying to get Rome or Tate on the or
I'm
Tyson
okay
on the
with
back?
that. I love Tate, but if you want to do Lamar, I'm okay with that.
I
You
just
know
think
I really like
Lamar at
Lamar.
59 is just silly. He's
Yeah,
got he
I'm a big Lamar fan.
Yeah, I just think it's too far of a fall. Like, when is enough to say I'm not giving my opponents Lamar Jackson at 60? So both those guys go. I think we go Tyson. We don't need running back. I know the kick's saying we need running back. What do
Yeah,
you
I'm
think?
fine with Tyson. I thought you were a Hendo guy though.
I am a Hendo guy. I have a decent amount of Hendo. We just have Cook, Genty, and you think Hendo is the guy?
I think he's fine. For like, we're really strong in the
All right,
early
all right.
season.
We'll do Hendo. We'll do
Because
Hendo.
think through, we've got Cook, Genty, Brees, and so we're really strong in the early season. So we're kind
Yep.
of wallpapering over the part of the season that's probably the worst for Hendo, right? They're still talking about in camp like, hey, his pass protection's not the greatest,
Right.
and so I think you might show up to the playoffs and turn the cards over. And a lot of people had trouble advancing Travion Henderson because he has a slow start to the season. And then in the good outcomes where it's like, hey, remember those 30-point nukes Travion was dropping last year? What if by the time we get to the end of the season, it is a little bit more of an even split between him and Ramondre, and he's the guy that's delivering the explosives? And all of a sudden, we're there with these 4 juggernaut running backs, and one of them is one that's kind of low owned relative to how good. Think about like in DFS, if you just were able to, if you knew, hey, the field's not going to play this guy that's got like a 30-point ceiling in a week, they just decided they didn't like him. Best ball can kind of force that to happen by the time you get to the playoffs, where it's like everyone would love to see a team with Travion Henderson on it. And so I'm okay with getting some teams where it's like, hey, I'm pretty heavy on running back to try and pull a big ceiling play like Travion Henderson through. So that's kind of how I think through it.
Okay, that does make sense, I guess, because you're not like the way you're thinking about it. You don't have to rely on Travion to be that guy, but if he becomes that guy at some point in the season, he could really push the team over the top. And this is a team we went heavy running back, so it's going to be probably a 3 running back team anyways. Just lean into that a little bit more, I guess, and go that way. And we could build off of those 4 running backs. So it's another team we might not need another running back.
Yeah. And I don't have a ton of Henderson right now. I know he's been falling. So that would be, if
Yep.
you were like, hey, I don't want to take Henderson here, I think I'll get him later. I think that's perfectly reasonable to IKB off him. I do think as we get more casual drafters here in August and it gets later in August and closer to the season, we might get some 7th round Henderson. And if
It
that's the
might.
case, I'm going to be loading up.
It just depends on how good Ramondre keeps looking. They keep throwing out those camp videos of Ramondre, and then the reporter saying Travion Henderson. Oh, I haven't watched any of practice, but he hasn't improved. It's like, well, okay, so thanks for that. That means nothing. I'm not gonna listen to you at all because you're not actually watching anything. It's like that. What is that? Give me something actionable. Okay, like JCM literally can't pass protect. Okay, like I can see that. Like I saw a video of it. Like that's actionable. Like JCM. I bookmark this. JCM gets benched for fumbling or pass protection. It's going to happen. It's
Yeah,
going
I
to
saw that.
happen.
I saw that same pass protection clip that you're referencing, and it wasn't his strongest rep. I'll
It was
say
not.
that.
No, but my point is like teams like Washington, Patriot, these teams with these coaches, like they'll just bench a guy for a game for fucking up. Like they will. JCM's not going to have as long of a leash as we would like him to have. And I think Travion's in that same boat, honestly, with Ramondre there. They can give him a short leash because we have Ramondre. So if you mess up, like we're just going to play him. So That's the thing that sucks about Travion. But when it goes right, it like looks really good in the 6th round.
Yeah, I just think back to those 30-point games we got from Henderson and the breakaway runs, and it's like, dude, if I get that in the fantasy playoffs and he's a guy that not everyone else has, like that's a player you're really happy to show up to the finals with, where you're just hoping for a Henderson team in the finals, you know. And I'm pretty underweight him right now. Let me see how much I have. Yeah, I only have 3.5%.
Well,
So
that's good. You could be scooping up the Dipperino at some
I'm
point
hoping
here.
to. I'm hoping Burden and Henderson, those are players that I really like, their profiles. I just didn't love the price early. And
Yep.
now even just that little discount, just like crack the window a little bit for me, you know, and let
Yeah,
me
like
pack my
move Burden
bags.
from the 4th to the 5th, you know, and let
And
me.
that's enough. Like that's
Yeah.
enough for it to all of a sudden be like, I'm very interested now.
Yep. No, that makes sense here. Sustainable construction. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, brother? Good to have you in here. What do you guys what do you make of McDaniel's comments on the backfield? Oh, yeah, the Kamani Vidal. We'll talk about that in the second. The Vidal, Hampton, Keaton Missile comments here. DK Metcalf at pick 83. I mean, I don't click DK Metcalf, but I
And
do
for
think
this
it's a
team
value.
too, where it's like,
Yes.
hey, our only receiver is McConkey. This is like, let's get an adult in the room with DK Metcalf because we know how the end of our draft
And
is going to look.
he is by far the best receiver on the board right now.
Yeah, I
Like I think
agree.
he's a way better pick than Jaden Reed.
Yeah,
And
I
I don't
like
like
Jaden Reed a
DK.
lot, but yes, I would here DK Metcalf is pretty nice for this team.
So the McDaniels comments, Zach. Do you know the comments I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah, we don't really think that it carries a ton of weight. You know, we know he's gonna use multiple guys. He's not, you know, tipping his hand to say, oh, Jonathan Brooks pops up here.
Wow, this is interesting.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm totally fine with
Okay.
Brooks. I think we're obviously
Wasn't
winning the
it just
flex through running
Fannin or
back.
was I seeing things? I
It
thought
was
Fannin.
it was Fannin, but it updated here on the
Oh.
last second.
All right. We'll continue the top guy streak here. So we have a one we got a 1-5 2-0 build going here. This is going to be interesting to see how we finish this team out. But yeah, the McDaniels comments, the running backs, all three of them, hot hand, lean into the hot hand sack. What are you doing?
Yeah, uh, I'm not super concerned about this. I mean, we already kind of thought Hampton was a little overpriced, but it didn't really make us move anything as far as our sim inputs. We thought all the guys would be involved. We looked at Kamani Vidal was the one that we looked at the most to see if there was, you know, anywhere that we needed to change our inputs on him, and we had him involved already. You know, we didn't think he was a total zero. He's not really someone we're drafting, but we think he's there and could be a little annoying to both Hampton and Keaton. So probably not anything super significant. And yeah, the overall McDaniels comments think it's closer to nothing than being something to act on.
Yeah, what I think is McDaniels has three running backs he likes and are pretty solid backs, and he's going to, use these guys, in the right way, but eventually, like, talent just wins out, and Mike McDaniel's kind of seen that. Like, he'll give guys a chance, but at the end of the day, like, Hampton's going to play his role, and I don't think anyone's going to mess with his role. And I think it's the same thing with Keaton. I think Keaton's going to just have a role, and we're going to see it like the Mostert year with Mostert and Achan that year. I think that's the way it's going to go. And then Kamani is just a better third running back that he can easily slot in if one guy goes down for the other guy's role. That's the way I kind of view this backfield. I do not view, I know he said the thing about like, oh, they're all going to play or whatever. Like, I mean, maybe that's the case. Maybe, like one guy plays 30 snaps, one guy plays 25 snaps, and one guy plays like 8 or something like that, which, I mean, it's not ideal, but like at the end of the day, it's that's not that big of a deal if Omari Hampton's getting all the goal line snaps, right? Like Keaton Mitchell's getting passing down work. Like if those things happen, you still can live with those picks where they're going right now. It's just if it's like a, like a like a three-way split or something like that, which would be like real. I don't think that's what happens though, because he rides the hot hand, and he even said it in his presser, like I'm gonna ride the hot hand. So like, if that's the case, like he's just gonna see how the game goes, and the better and the talent's gonna win out. So I'm not worried about it at all. I hope they fall though.
Yeah, getting a Hampton discount would be pretty nice. I would be into that.
Yeah, because I'd start clicking them.
But yeah, I'm pretty aligned with you on what I believe they see Kamani Vidal as, which is a really nice insurance policy to have as far as
Yep.
RB depth. Hey, someone goes down, this guy can do everything for us, and he plays special teams. So like
Yep.
that's sweet to have on the roster. Like he is a valuable asset to an NFL team, not as much relevant for fantasy for us, barring an injury.
And I think Harbaugh loves him
Oh yeah.
too. So
I mean,
yeah.
he stepped up in a big way last year when they had the Hampton injury. So yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm getting a little tired of it, but I'm also gonna really enjoy that offense nuking defenses this year. I mean, you see how giddy he got. He gets with Herbert, who can actually he actually has an arm, unlike Tua, who throws like ducks. He's like, oh, he can make all these passes, like every single pass. We're up here, Patrick Mahomes on the clock.
yeah,
Um,
I'm very into Mahomes here. Dude, I don't know if you've seen all the stuff they're saying about he's running around, he's scrambling in practice, like he's rushing for big chunk gains and stuff. It seems like
that's what you want.
it's all systems go.
That's really what you want if you're
Also, I
if you're
think
in a
the
bad.
Cyrus Allen stuff is like not a small deal for Patrick Mahomes, like bad season outcomes. Like the floor outcomes are suddenly buoyed a little bit by having an additional receiver. And I
So,
really like getting Worthy here.
so this is interesting. Were these? It's interesting. You guys, I'm assuming like obviously Pat Mahomes kind of helps that, but were these weird? Because I've seen him fall in a lot of drafts lately. I've seen him go as late as like 130 in some
Wow.
drafts. And I'm assuming it's like a little bit of the injury that he picked up, that little shoulder injury, and then the Cyrus Allen hype is maybe dinging Worthy, who honestly, like, you're not really hearing a lot about. You're hearing some about Rice. You're hearing some about, obviously, you're hearing Cyrus Allen. You're seeing Taekwon get locked up by the rookie. You're not really hearing a lot about Worthy, and I know he's banged up, but just in general, even before he got banged up.
Yeah, prior to the injury, he was having some good splash plays in camp. He had a couple deep connections with Mahomes, which you do really like to see because that's been something the Chiefs offense has been lacking the last couple of years. Mahomes'
Yep.
deep ball accuracy has been much worse in the two most recent years compared to how it was in his previous years. And so if that's something where they can unlock that again, that would be really, really good. But yeah, I do think having Cyrus Allen there as a potential talent, elevation from Tyquan Thornton, if they get Worthy, Allen, and Rice on the field, I think that's a pretty, potentially really good thing for them. And then also just in the event of an injury, if Xavier Worthy gets banged up, if Rashi Rice isn't right with the knee, any of that stuff, I do think that getting Cyrus Allen
Do,
is helpful there.
do you see
Yeah,
this? Keaton
I
Mitchell
do.
just went at 112. That guy is not afraid of the Mike McDaniel shtick. He is unafraid. That's a true Keaton Mitchell fan right there.
He's a true
Uh
believer.
yeah, that's a true believer. I want to be friends with that guy. That guy believes in something right there. Got to believe in something. It's important. Probably be our last draft here. Yeah. Oh, let's do this one here. Going back to that second round, how are you feeling about Jonathan Taylor with Danny Dimes reports?
Very
Oh,
good. All the
yeah.
joint practice stuff. So it was really funny. The Athletic had an article from a Colts beat writer about joint practice with the Patriots, and they also had one from a Patriots beat writer about the same joint practice. And both articles were talking about how good Jonathan Taylor was. And the Patriots article was talking about like God, the Patriots run defense really needs to improve if they're going to be able to do anything. But, it was Jonathan Taylor that was running all over him. So I guess that's okay. And the Colts article is like, Jonathan Taylor is the fucking man. He was just dominating. So it's really funny to get like the both sides of like, dude, Jonathan Taylor is just cooking them out there. So
It makes me feel really good about my Josh Downs bags. And I think you should feel good about JT. JT was someone at the beginning of May. I was like, what do I want to do with JT? I really didn't have a good feel for it, but I moved him up, earlier in the summer, and I feel good where I have him at. I think he should be in the middle of the board, like that. You know, I have Amon Ra ahead of him, but like right after Amon Ra. I have him ahead of CMC though. I think most people would have CMC there. Let's see. Malik Willis goes. Romeo Dobbs at the top of the kick. You got Travis Kelce here too.
yeah, I really like getting Dobbs to help us out at wide receiver. We're a little
Yes.
weak there. He's kind of, it would not surprise me at all if it's week 10 and we're looking at DFS projections. It's like DK Metcalf, Romeo Dobbs, they're like about the same. And those are the guys making sure we don't put up, complete duds at our wide receiver 2 and 3 spot.
They're the guys that no one wants to click, and we're like,
I'll take 11 points.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it here. The kick is saying Travis Kelce makes more money than Mark Andrews. I
think that's right, man. If you look at look at the Travis Kelce game logs from last year, even when he was lumbering around like an absolute old man, he was still putting up like 20 fantasy points on DK.
You don't think that the bullishness of losing both those tight ends and having a couple rookies maybe being involved in the passing game just heightens like Mark Andrews being the red zone weapon? Like they have Zay Flowers. Like who's really going to be the red zone threat for Lamar Jackson?
I think that's Jacoby Lane, man. I think,
or it could be Jacoby Lane.
Yeah,
but it's Derrick Henry for sure.
Yeah,
it's Jacoby Lane maybe, but I think Mark Andrews
for sure. Mark Andrews will still have a piece of the pie. Like they've definitely used him like that in the past. I just think
maybe he's washed though. Maybe he's washed. I don't know.
I'm worried both Kelce and Andrews are washed. Like to be fair,
maybe take Travis Kelce right there.
They both could be washed. I just think that the median outcome for Kelce is probably better than the median outcome for Andrews. The ceiling outcome for Andrews probably gets reasonably close to the ceiling outcomes for Kelce in this season. I think that the real high outcomes for Kelce, like the guy's he's not going to turn back the clock, but like he could still put up a pretty respectable season. So I just think more often than not, Kelce's probably doing better than Andrews, and then they probably have reasonably similar ceilings. Maybe I do think I probably prefer Kelce there just by a hair. But I'm certainly not out on Andrews. I do think I get a little less of him though. Yeah, I'm like 8.7% Andrews. I'm a little higher on DK, 11.7%. So yeah, he's one where I'm about even with the field on.
Yeah, he's one on DraftKings. I'm clicking more, and then on the other site on UD, I'm clicking more Dallas Goedert. So I've been like alternating the old slow white guys, tight ends over there. So Sack, here's a question from Chris. How do you feel about Travion if he falls to the 6th? He is in the 6th round, brother.
He's early 6th, 5-6 turn right now. I bet you that if he goes in the mid 6th, like where Jadarian Price kind of goes, I bet we'd get a decent amount of him in the Sims. And if he goes to the late 6th, I think we're like if I'm having to decide between him and Jaylen Warren or him and Ramondre straight up, I think we're doing Travion, even though we have like Ramondre in the Sims is outscoring Travion a lot of the time in the early season.
Yep.
But it's just that when it goes good for Travion Henderson at the end of the season, it's a whole lot different looking than when it goes good for Ramondre Stevenson at the end of the season, right? Like, and that's the kind of thing where that's like a tournament defining outcome versus like dude, when it goes good for Ramondre Stevenson, you're still really happy, but it's probably not a tournament defining type of outcome. But dude, if Travion Henderson drops back-to-back 30 burgers in the fantasy playoffs, like that could be pretty important.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%. We might get interesting, like, quarterbacks are still left here. People pushing these quarterbacks. Sam Darnold still on the board. Daniel Jones.
Yeah, we're rich at quarterback too. We got, Lamar and Mahomes.
Yep, Danny Dimes
Okay,
goes
here
there.
they start coming off the board. The quarterback
Okay.
run is here. Honestly, I think that's pretty good for us because it means we probably get some good receivers here to help us out with our kind of thin room.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not as big on the Omar Cooper as you guys.
We moved him down a good bit today.
Did you?
And
Okay.
these sims are live. Yeah, we have him not being super helpful in the beginning of the season. Still
Oh,
probably out there.
Terrence Ferguson at 153.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like this is where Tiefer goes in my drafts. Like I just never see him there late.
Really? That's the
I,
highest I've seen him go for sure.
this is probably a little high. But yeah, man, I feel like every time I'm like, did Tiefer go yet? I'm like, oh yeah, he went 2 rounds ago.
Man, Travis Hunter. God, Travis Hunter over Jalen McMillian. I feel like that's wrong, but we'll click Travis Hunter. I feel like Jalen McMillian is going to give me more consistent weeks than Travis Hunter.
I don't know that the consistent weeks matter as much as
The big weeks.
what does it look like when Travis Hunter has a breakout, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Like when
That's
Travis
fair.
Hunter is sending Jacoby Myers, to grab some pine, what does that look like, you know?
Oh, the hate on Jalen McMillions is unfair. All right. Omar Cooper, Trey Tucker.
Yeah, if you prefer Trey Tucker, I like me some Trey Tucker too. I'd be totally fine with that.
We have Genty. Let's go Trey
Yeah.
Tucker.
I think also with the way our receiver room is, where we're just a little thinner, like
Yep.
having Cooper is the thing that makes us the most money, but Trey Tucker probably makes us feel more comfy in the early part. When we're checking our lineups in weeks 1 through 4,
Well,
we're
which I
probably
think is
like,
important with this team.
yeah,
I think that's kind of important, especially with taking Travis Hunter, because you're going to have weeks where he gives you nothing.
yep, for
You're,
sure.
that's the thing with taking Travis Hunter. You're going to get those weeks when you get nothing. So you want to have some guys that you feel a little better about maybe week to week. I mean, let's be honest. The Raiders, there's got to be one receiver outside of Bowers and Genty. There's got to be one guy. And maybe it's just hard to predict. Maybe it is just a rotating cast that you can't predict. But I feel like either Trey Tucker or Jalen Naylor, one of these guys is running a ton of routes and going to be like the main receiver. Still the
Yeah,
third option, but the main receiver,
I do. I like Trey Tucker to be the routes leader for the
the
Raiders
routes
receivers.
leader.
Yeah.
So I think he's a really good pick where he's going.
The other thing with Travis Hunter, like I can you picture this now? It's week 9. Travis Hunter the previous week scored 18 DK points. He had a couple touchdowns, They schemed him up some stuff. Fantasy sites are projecting him. Travis Hunter 13.5 fantasy point projection, and he's only 5,400. People are starting to jam him in. They're pretty stoked about the ceiling for Travis Hunter. The game starts. Travis Hunter's nowhere to be seen on offense. It's the second quarter. The guy's still taking no snaps at the offense. He's playing a lights out game on defense. And at halftime, they're doing the interviews with Liam Cohen. And he says, yeah, this is our game plan all along. We knew we needed Travis to shut him down on defense, and he's done a great job at that. And people are slamming their fists on the table. They're so pissed they rostered Travis Hunter in DFS. I mean, you can book it. That's happening a couple times this
Oh,
season.
easily.
So that's why for best ball, I'm super into Travis Hunter. I don't want to have to pick which game Travis Hunter is going to go off in.
Yeah,
Though.
you just like live with it. Like, okay, he went off like 3 times this year. I got those scores. Like they're in my bag,
Yep.
That's the way it goes. Staying with construction. What do you guys think about the rising CT concussion narrative? Are we going to see a lot of missed time in the protocol this year? I can see medicals flexing their presence this year. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like this is always kind of it is like a rising thing, but I don't know if we're going to see like more. I don't know. Zach, do you even think about that? Like,
I no, I think in general, obviously the NFL cares about the safety of the players, but they also care about the quality of the product. So I,
correct.
I don't think that they are going to do anything where they're jeopardizing the quality of the product by being overly aggressive with the concussion protocol. I hope that they are doing right by the players and taking care of guys and not letting them put themselves in harm's way. But
Yep.
yeah, I don't think they're going to do anything that's an aggressive change from previous seasons.
I agree. Let's see here. So Greg Dulcich goes, we're 2 picks away. Geno Smith. What do we This guy's being a little erratic here. We do only have 1 tight end.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with whoever of AJ Barner and K. Dot and make it to us. That's the eat your veggies tight end.
So I want to do something here.
Okay.
Can we go Lane since we have Lamar, and then hopefully we
Yeah,
get one of
he's screaming up. Scroll. I want to see how close Lane is in the sidekick. I'm fine taking him here.
there?
Okay, he's the next receiver after Tank Dell.
Yes,
It's like, hey, you need a tight end. But you know what we're telling the Sims? We're saying Charlie Kolar's there in the 20th.
that's right. That's what we're saying right there. We're saying Charlie Kolar's there, Eli Raridan.
Yep. Yeah, we're saying, hey, just chill, baby. Charlie Kolar's there. Eli's there.
And there's
We'll be
just so
okay.
many tight ends. Like, even if this guy double taps tight end, which I don't think he's gonna do, I think he's gonna take 1 tight end. Oh, he goes
Oh, he
Cyrus
takes
Allen.
Cyrus Allen.
That's a good pick right there.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, and look, AJ Barner got jumped. He got jumped by old Kate Otten.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I like both
interesting.
these guys. I think they're both good for what we need.
What we need. Yeah, they are both good. Jaden Blue. Okay, I didn't think he was going to go with either of these guys.
He's got a type though.
Yeah, he does. He definitely. That's why I took Lane. I was like,
no,
I
that
was
was a
like,
good.
this guy has a type. Okay, we'll go Kate Otten here. Get some tight end. We definitely our weak spot. Tight end. But that's okay. We're going to take 4 for sure.
Oh yeah.
So we got 4 picks left here. Let's see. Out of the 11 spot for anyone just listening, James Cook, Ashton Genty, Lad McConkey, Brees Hall, Lamar Jackson, Travion Henderson, DK Metcalf, Jonathan Brooks, Pat Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Romeo Dobbs, Travis Kelce, Travis Hunter, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Lane, and Cade Otten. Should I have went Cyrus Allen and then Jacoby Lane?
No, I think we like Lane better than Allen.
Okay.
Straight up, I like Allen is squarely in the interesting category for us now. Like he's draftable. We'll for sure get him some. I do think that with guys like this, it's really easy for the market to just steam them up so fast that it's like they kind of suck all the air out of the room.
It's a KC guy.
Yeah.
These guys just they always get steamed up. This happens. I feel like every year there's always that random guy. Most of the time it doesn't work, but it's always that random guy that everyone's like falling in love with.
Remember Carson Steele last year?
Oh, I remember Carson. I'm like, we are not drafting Carson Steele. I refuse to draft Carson Steele. I also refuse to draft Isaiah Pacheco and all those dust balls that they had in Kansas City. They're just horrible. I mean, there's such bad picks, but I think I don't think Cyrus Allen is like that. I think he is talented. I think he is like pretty solid. The question is, he's getting all these first team reps. Is he really pushing these guys? Is he really taking over the Taekwon role or pushing Xavier Worthy? Or is it just like Rice isn't like fully healthy right now? He's getting his legs back. Xavier's got the shoulder thing. Like, let's work this guy in. He's like the next guy. You know what I mean? What is it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. He could just be the real deal, and he's that good in practice that like they can't not have him with the first team. Could be that.
Yeah, I definitely think Cyrus Allen is someone I'd like to get on my teams, but if they're gonna make me take him in, like the 15th round, I probably won't get a ton.
Correct. Yeah, I mean 15th, 16th round is like now with like all these guys that are going, it's nothing like look, Pat Bryant just went in the 16th. Like
Yeah, I think I'm like pretty squarely Pat Bryant over Cyrus. I haven't drafted enough with the new Sims to know if that's how they feel, but I think that it's Pat Bryant greater than Cyrus
I
Allen.
have to think it's Pat Bryant greater than Cyrus Allen. I'm not sure, but I have to
Yeah,
think that way.
that's my gut on it.
Let's see who makes it back to us here. Jim Jerry says he has a sighting. He has a Darren Waller sighting.
Okay, there we go. He is in the Sims. He's alive.
WKJ, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Cyrus Allen went way too high. Ted Hurst goes there. Nick Singleton.
And hey, we got plenty of Chiefs in here. We got
We do.
Mahomes, Worthy, Kelsey.
So it's same
This
Jeremy.
is with the new nerfed Jeremy Bernard. So
Oh,
again, my kind of MO is if after we nerf a guy in the Sims, they still pop up as a good pick. That's how I sleep easy at night. Oh man, this is beautiful.
this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Charlie Collar at pick 206 is
Dude, have
beautiful.
you been seeing what I mean, the drumbeat is deafening on Charlie Kolar.
Look at my boy Caleb Douglas. I just love seeing it. I love it. People are gonna really hate when they throw like 20 times a game. They're be so
Dude,
mad.
we were talking about it on the rankings call, and I said it would not surprise me in the slightest if Miami sets the record for all-time lowest number of dropbacks converted to pass attempts. Like,
They might. They honestly might. It's in the realm of possibility right there. Is Keenan the next guy to drop? Is he the next hat? Shoot a fall.
the way we're reading it, a little bit of alpha for people out there that are willing to watch for 2 hours on a Wednesday night. We think that as long as Keenan signs before like early next week, you're probably good. If he's not signed by sometime early next week, that's where we start to get concerned about his
Okay.
probability of playing this season. I feel like people this year are kind of like timelines are a little, people are talking about like, oh, we're in the second week of August. And if you actually look at when the NFL season starts this year compared to past years, you kind of should bump everything back 1 week because we're getting a later start this year. And so last year, Keenan signed on August 5th. And that was like a pretty late signing, but he, got signed, was fully integrated in the offense, like projected well right out of the gate, scoring fantasy points, right? So we're basically 1 week later than Keenan signed last year, but the NFL season also starts 1 week later. So we're like right around the time that he would have signed, the relative time in the offseason cycle. And so if by early next week that's not done, that's kind of scary.
Bad news.
And so I think that we would start pumping the brakes on him, maybe not fully stopping drafting him, but you'd see him less because we'd have his probability to play is going down a little bit.
All right, I like it. That's some good insight right there on Keenan Allen. Signed on August 5th last year. Season starts a week later this year. So if he doesn't sign by the end of what would you say next week, do you start to get
Yeah,
concerned?
if it's like Tuesday, Wednesday of next week and we haven't seen anything, I think that's you'll probably start seeing him a little less. But for right now,
All
I
right.
still feel pretty good about it because, like, dude, you listen to the smoke of the Colts needing help at wide receiver, and I mean, if you read the team, the joint practice reports, like they're talking about that the team really had trouble with anyone else getting open outside of Josh Downs at receiver. They're like, yeah, Josh
Right.
Downs did great. Nick Westbrook-Akine, though, not looking so hot. Ashton Doolin, yeah, he didn't do so good. So they're hurting, and it seems like Alec Pierce has a good chance of being back for week 1, but he's still gonna have to work his way back, and I've gotta think that the Colts would feel a whole lot comfier, if they knew that Keenan Allen was there to kinda backstop him, so.
And we just saw Darren Waller go at pick, what's that? 221 right
Yeah.
there. 221. Yeah, no, I like the take on Keenan. So maybe draft a couple of shares. If you have a good wide receiver room and you want to take a little risk at the end of a draft or something like that. It's definitely not for sure, but I don't hate taking some shots.
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, just like you were talking about in the last draft, by the time we get down to the 19th and 20th now, it's getting a little more sparse. All the fun guys are climbing up.
I mean, for real. Like look at who is left that we have to
Yeah.
pick from. It's insane.
I
I
do
mean,
like that all our Ravens stacking options are still there, so that's fun.
yeah. So here's the thing. We definitely want a fourth tight end, right?
Yeah, if you want to take Raritan here because you're like, I don't know if Keenan signs or not, that's a thing. Another good spot to IKB and be like, hey,
Well, it's Raritan is the next tight end. We have three wide receivers. This guy has two picks. I don't see why he's going to take two of these guys. He
right.
needed a tight end anyways. He takes two tight ends right there.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, another good
Dang.
IKB.
And I mean, we can go Keenan or we can go Bateman. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think either one's fine. If you were like, I'm just a little worried about Keenan's odds of actually playing this year, then I'd IKB to Bateman. If you're
I,
like, I want to shoot for the upside of Keenan signing with the Colts, or maybe the Raiders want him.
I think I.
Like if
Mm,
Keenan plays, he's scoring more points than
all right,
Rashad Bateman, most
we'll do
likely.
Keenan.
But
Yeah,
if
I
Keenan
agree.
doesn't play, you're obviously much happier with Bateman.
The reason why I went Keenan here is I do think this team. I mean, when Xavier Worthy is your wide receiver 3,
Yeah.
you're gonna have some problems, and if Keenan Allen plays, that makes me feel way better about this team because Keenan Allen can fix some of those problems that a wide receiver 3 Xavier Worthy is gonna give you because he's gonna give you some really really bad weeks.
Yep.
So it's just like we need. You always talk about like the guys that just get you 12 sometimes and help you like get there. Well, that could be Keenan Allen, pretty much.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah, if you go, you're looking through your teams every week, just seeing how the portfolio is doing, and you start opening up rosters and you're looking at the scores every week, you'll be surprised at how many times like 12 or 14 points you're like, I'm actually pretty stoked on that 12. That 12 really helped. And at the end of the season, you kind of look, shoot, I squeaked out advancing a team by, 6 points or 10 points. Like that stuff adds up. So it is nice to get guys like that.
yeah, so Rockwell, because you asked so nicely if we can roast your team, we will look at it real quick before we talk about ours. You went out of the 6 hole, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brock Bowers, Devontae Smith, Travis Etienne, or ETN, as we know him, Quincia Judkins, Jaden Daniels, Michael Wilson, Blake Corum, Kyle Monangai, JCM, Tyler Shuck, Jake Ferguson, Bryce Young, Malik Washington, Isaac Tesla, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Kamani Vidal, Zach Ertz, and John Mechie the third. Sack. What do you think of that team here? You think it's too many running backs? Do you like
I
it?
loved this one at the start, man. This is like banger, 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 like
Yep.
all good picks. I'm not super into Michael Wilson, but I totally see if we're wrong on Michael Wilson, I'm like, oh yeah, I see how that works out. Um, then you lost me a little bit at the end though. Like I don't really think I'm clicking any John Mechie or Zach Ertz or Isaac Tesla. So I think you started really strong. It's like that, the meme of the beautifully drawn front half of the horse. You know, that's
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking here. But I really like how you started. And you know what? These are all late round guys, so like a bunch of them are not going to work out anyway. So
Yeah, you're swinging for the fences anyways. I like my thing would be, I think that you're winning at running back. I think your quarterbacks are pretty solid. You have the top tight end. I love Amon-Ra and Devontae Smith, so I'm totally into those picks. Like this overall is a pretty good team. Like you you were technically maybe a little thin at wide receiver, so like as opposed to one of these picks in the middle, would I maybe went another receiver early, but maybe there weren't any you loved. This is what's going to determine like, does this team do well? Is probably like, can one of these crappy receivers give you some good weeks
Like
and
if
get
Kamani Vidal and Zach Ertz or Caleb Douglas and pick your other favorite late Keenan Allen, if you snipe Keenan Allen from us, I'm pretty into that then because that helps you
right?
in your weakness. And but yeah,
Exactly.
I do I
So,
think
like,
it's a pretty
I
good
think this
team.
team could have used a Keenan Allen instead of a Kamani Vidal is my point. Um, or just another, yeah, like another receiver here and went 9. But yeah, that's all my thoughts and sacks here. So we were out of the 11 hole. We went James Cook, Genty, Lad McConkey, Brees Hall, Lamar Jackson, Travion Henderson, DK Metcalf, Jonathan Brooks, Pat Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Romeo Dobbs, Travis Kelsey, Travis Hunter, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Lane, Cade Otton, Jeremy Bernard, Charlie Kolar, Eli Raridan, and Keenan Allen. Little weak at tight end. That's why we went 4. Hopefully, it can kind of just get us through. And then, I mean, the definite weakness is that wide receiver 3 spot, Zach, which is why we went Keenan Allen at the end. I think it was the right thing to do. 9 receivers. We're winning at running back for sure.
Yeah, we're beating the brakes off him at running back, and we're just hoping we can get some spike weeks from maybe like a Xavier Worthy or maybe some of the rookies come on for us. So Jeremy Bernard, we just need you down the stretch, buddy. We don't need you at the start of the season. Roman Wilson, it's okay if you take the early season, but Jeremy, we need you to come through.
Yeah, Jeremy, this team, it's all up to you, buddy. Do it for us. Zach, anything else here before we get out of here? Anything else you guys got going on?
Yeah, we're in the home stretch now. So if you want to head over to legendaryupside.com, check out the Sidekick. Annual subscription is $500. That covers not just best ball summer, it also covers the early best ball, the pre-NFL draft best ball, also covers playoff best ball. So there's about 10 total months of drafting that you get for that. So it comes out to be right about $50 a month. And I very much love playoff best ball. As soon as we finish, this hot best ball summer, we get to work on playoff best ball stuff. That's one of my favorite formats. So definitely check out the Sidekick if you're trying to do some volume. I think it's very helpful. And you can check out our new exposure visualization tool over at apps.legendaryupside.com.
Love it. There we go. Check out runpuresports.com. Code forever25. You want 25% off for life of any package. We just upgraded the site. Brand new site, overhaul, added the Run Pure Bet site. It's absolutely phenomenal. If you want to check it out, the bet site is awesome, powered by Gambly. Makes it super easy to tail any of the bets. All the cappers post their bets. You can easily tail on there if you want to try it out. Use that code, get in there. Awesome time. And we've got all the DFS you need, best ball, all that type of stuff, all in one. You know what I mean? Leg up, top tier for if you need best ball content, leg up, top tier. If you want everything, though, everything under the sun, DFS, betting, we got you covered. Come hang out, get in the Discord, everything like that. But yeah, fun stuff here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the exposures segment there at the beginning of the day. Zach, appreciate you hanging out, doing some drafts. Everyone, appreciate you guys hanging out. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channels if you are not. Subscribe to the Run Pure Sports and the Leg Up YouTube channels. Tons of free content on those channels. We'll be back next week. Until then, I'm JSU. He's Zach. We're out of here. Peace.